Sam Seder wants to come on, but I think he's one of the most disingenuous human beings in the space. So, like, I
think you
invited.
should still have him on.
Well, I invited him, and then he used it against us as a weapon. So he's cut off.
Got it.
And he's also, I can tell you this. I love saying this, by the way. There are some other high-profile podcasts that have completely boycotted him, and he's like complained about this, not understanding why, and I know why. But he's considered widely in the space to be.
So, we got to keep this real. Sometimes we have disagreements, and then within those disagreements, there's a lot of dishonesty. And today on the PBD Value Entertainment channel, Tim Pool didn't just call Sam Seder out, puts him on full blast. See, this isn't just a petty internet beef. This is about credibility. And he feels like Sam Seder is playing with his name. So on the Value Entertainment with Patrick Davis, Tim says Sam Seder plays dirty. He misrepresents arguments. He pretends to be this independent voice while constantly taking shots from the sidelines. So on the Value Entertainment with Patrick Davis, Tim looked straight into that camera and said, "You're fake, you twist things, and you hide behind context to push an agenda."
It's kind of stupid to say, but grifter.
We've heard similar things. I'll leave it at that.
I'll tell you the story. I tweeted, "Hey, we often invite leftist guests on our show, and they just don't come on." So he responded, "I'll come on the show." I tweeted something like, It's live in studio. We'll cover your costs, travel and accommodation. When works for you?" He says, "How's the 13th?" I say, "That works perfectly." He says, "Okay." I was like, "We'll DM you." Immediately DM him, and he says, "I'm not coming on your show." And then I was like, okay. Then he goes on his show and makes a claim against me. Or he starts tweeting about me and trying to back out or something like that, turning it into some grift where he could rally his audience. You know what he did? The Majority Report took the song we released, Only Ever Wanted, and ran it through a filter to make it sound bad, and then made fun of us for having bad music. Like, the dude legit is fake. And it wasn't him personally. It was his people who put a filter on our song to make it sound bad. But, like, that's a really good example of what you get when you watch someone like Sam Seder.
Listen, we've had a lot of people on. We had a Roland Martin on here 4 months ago, which was an incredible conversation, back and forth nonstop the entire time. It was uncomfortable from the second to the last second, literally. But it was one of my favorite conversations of the year. And we get, every time you have somebody on, people will text you and say, "Oh, I cannot believe you're having that person. This person's this, ever." I've never had anybody on that I got that many text messages as Sam Seder, and I don't know why. People and
Negative?
Not good.
Well, so I will say, in terms of media industry stuff, I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I'll just say, and Sam will probably hear this, there are high-profile producers and media people who have told me explicitly he's blacklisted. Because
why though?
Because there was this period where I can speak in one circumstance.
Yeah.
There was a period where he made a ridiculous amount of videos about Dave Rubin, and it got really creepy, I guess. I don't know a lot about it. I don't know how many videos he made, but there was a period where people were just like, this guy's got a weird grift going on where he just tries to do drama. And the perspective, I suppose, was, look what happened to me. When I said, "Hey, come on the show," he turns it into drama for his audience. Look what happens when we released a song called Only Ever Wanted, and then his people ran it through this weird filter so it sounded awful, and they mocked us and insulted us. Like, that's the fake. That's my experience. I can only imagine that many others had a very, are these all Majority Report Rubin clips?
Yeah, and it just keeps going and going and going.
Let me ask you this, to use the metaphor that Miley and Yiannopoulos were still talking.
So Tim wasn't just emotional. He wasn't yelling. He came with receipts, moment by moment, calling out how Seder clips, debates out, spins narratives, and he never actually engages in an honest debate. And here's the thing. This isn't just the first time Sam Seder's done this dance before. Attacks, twists, plays the victim, but Tim Pool hit him where it hurts, not just calling him dishonest. And Patrick Davis' podcast on Value Entertainment made this 10 times more powerful. Patrick Davis gave Tim Pool the same space to speak freely, and you could feel the confidence. No talking points, no fluff. Just raw frustration from a man who's tired of being misrepresented. This was Tim Pool telling the world, telling us, "I see through the act and I'm done staying silent."
Talking about him, he's getting names. Is he kind of taking a page out of that book, Sam Seder? It's like, we're talking about him.
Oh, good for him. Good for him. I don't know. You know, like
I know, but this,
one of the best shows I think we've ever done was just the other day with Lance from the Surfs TV. I think his views are wrong. I think he's wrong, but it was funny. We had fun. He brought a tall boy Bud Light and cracked it open on the show. He gave his opinions, which we all like countered, and then we were laughing together. I thought he was a good dude with bad views, and some views evil.
Well, by the way, like Sam Seder sat down here and he said, you know, I think, you know,
Holy crap, at 168? Keep going. How many videos are there? 100 bars up in stone.
But you know what I'm saying. But let me wow. Let me ask you this though. When you see something like this, what do you think about when a guy's done 167 reaction videos on one person?
He loves you. A person that loves you.
I mean, that's not a good look.
If you pull up me and you pull up David Pakman, you're going to find Biden and Trump, thousands of views probably. And it's fine. If you pull up my channel, you might find a couple dozen about the Young Turks, mostly because I'll respond to them saying something about me.
Right.
But this is like the Dave Rubin Review podcast.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's crazy.
That's pretty wild.
So this is one thing I was told explicitly, that they were like, we don't know what his deal is, but wow, he's got a lot of Dave Rubin videos, and that kind of is like the perspective. Look, he gets a lot of views from me. He has a lot of videos about me too. I don't know how many videos he has about me, but the perception is he is not a good faith individual trying to have a political argument. He's trying to WWE style fan his audience into.
Would you say that he's a troll?
Look at this! Like, come on! Look at that! Look, scroll up. Look at that picture of me where they used Photoshop on my face.
What did it look like you? Who is that? That's you?
Tim Pool is a lying coward. Okay, sure, whatever.
But I will tell you though, to me, this is
look
not
at this Tim Pool haunted by Thanos. So
what the hell?
Let me tell you the story too. It's a really good. Oh, I got another one from yesterday. So look at that. Tim Pool claims he's not conservative, shredded by Lance from the Surfs. So I had a conversation with Sam Seder. This is one of the biggest challenges for me trying to talk with people like Sam Seder. I say, Sam, I think we were talking about healthcare. This is years ago. It's like 5 years ago. And actually, first thing I'll say, Sam Seder was the first person needed to ever shout me out and positively comment on my work. So shout out to him. And so we're having a conversation, and I said, it sounds like your views are utilitarian as opposed to like deontological morality. And his response was something to the effect of, I don't know what that means. And then I'm like, okay, like Thanos, for instance. Like let me bring this down to an analogy. Thanos in Avengers is a utilitarian. I will sacrifice half of the universe to save the other half, maximizing the amount of good. Deontological morality, you cannot take an immoral action, period. The idea that you would commit an immoral action against an individual is wrong. You can't cross that line. In doing so, he turned it into a meme saying, and then got all of his people start tweeting at me nonstop because they didn't understand this. And I tried to relate to them. They insulted me for it. I'm like, that's what Sam Seder does. Instead of having a good faith conversation and saying, I now understand your point, or I'm sorry, I don't understand the reference, he makes videos like that.
All right, so let me ask you guys. Do you guys think Sam Seder's really out here just asking questions, or he's out here curating conflict for clicks? Because when someone like Tim Pool, a guy who debates the left, right, and everyone in between, takes time in one of the biggest platforms in this space to say, this man is a fake, you know there's fire behind the smoke. If you're tired of the spin, tired of edits, takedowns with no backbones, then stick with us, because Unfiltered Nation, we don't hide behind the talking points. We say what they don't want. Hit that like, share, and subscribe.
People don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, his audience might like it. It's WWE style politics. And so there's higher format shows that are just like, we don't associate with this guy. And I think he knows it. And I think what you were just saying about getting those messages, he knows it, and he complains about it a lot. It's like, bro, clean your act up and stop doing this stuff. And maybe you might find some redemption. But you know what? Far be it for me to tell you to stop doing what works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm sure the dude's making $1 million or something.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.